You're watching PBS.
The series Liberty, the American Revolution is available on videocassette as a 3-volume set. The companion book to Liberty has more than 250 color images and is written by historian Thomas Fleming. The soundtrack includes the music of Mark O'Connor, Wynton Marsalis, Yo-Yo Ma, and James Taylor. All are available by calling PBS Home Video at 1-800-828-4PBS.
Next time on Nova.
It was shaking the house.
All of a sudden, the roof was just turned off.
It strikes without warning and wipes out everything in its path. Now, scientists take you inside an avalanche to unlock its deadly secrets.
Jay and I cannot move. We are buried inside the hut.
It's a battle to understand and control the avalanche.
Tuesday at 8 on WVIZ.
Vaudeville, how great it was. Variety, the 2 a day. Vaudeville, vaudeville, vaudeville. Magic. Get ready for vaudeville. Legendary stars. Great old laughs. Incredibly weird acts.
He's not a geek, he is a regurgitator.
Vaudeville. Wednesday at 8 on WVIZ.
They said I didn't have to do very much. All I have to do is look for cues and eventually say, that's all the time we've got now, we got to leave it there. I said, on that basis, I'll do it if you pay me a lot of money. Well, that was a laugh.
Watch Feagler and Friends, Thursdays at 7:30 on WVIZ.
Truth on television is always refreshing. If you tell the truth, everybody says, boy, that's great.
The Democracy Project.
We now return to Liberty, the American Revolution. Liberty, the American Revolution is brought to you by Norwest, banking, mortgage, and consumer finance. We care about our communities and the value of education and are proud to support this series, Norwest to the nth degree. Major funding is also provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, expanding America's understanding of who we were, who we are, and who we will be. The Arthur Vining Davis Foundations. The Eberly Foundation. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by annual financial support from viewers like you. Liberty, the American Revolution is brought to you by Norwest, banking, investments, and insurance. We care about our communities and the value of education and are proud to support this series, Norwest to the nth degree. Major funding is also provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, expanding America's understanding of who we were, who we are, and who we will be. The Arthur Vining Davis Foundations. The Eberly Foundation. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by annual financial support from viewers like you.
The Democracy Project.
To order Liberty, the American Revolution on videocassette, or Liberty, the companion book written by Thomas Fleming, call PBS Home Video at 1-800-828-4PBS.
This is PBS.
No. Send him away. I shan't be seeing Mr. Mallory ever again. He's much too simple a country boy. I'm going to London, where I shall marry a gentleman. And I'll live in a big, fancy house. And in the summer, we shall travel to France. And spend our days eating chocolate whilst reading Byron and Baudelaire. Oh, please, sweet brother, can't you see what it is that will make me truly happy?
Well, yeah, but he's like downstairs. What do you want me to tell him?
Broadcast of today's programs is made possible by members of WVIZ and the following. The Ohio Lottery, which believes that a good education is the best way to improve your odds in life. The Plain Dealer, Ohio's largest newspaper, dedicated to providing you with the most current news, information, and entertainment every day from around the world and around the corner. WCLV, around-the-clock award-winning classical music and news. At 95.5. Alpha Park, a high-technology complex housing 120 companies with 1,600 employees, helping to lead Greater Cleveland into the 21st century. Kendall at Oberlin, a not-for-profit continuing care retirement community, meets nationally accepted standards of excellence through its accreditation by the Continuing Care Accreditation Commission. This independent accreditation commission is sponsored by the American Association of Homes and Services for the Aging. Kendall at Oberlin.
WVIZ would like you to send in your favorite Italian or chicken recipes for 2 upcoming episodes of the WVIZ Cooks series. I is for Italian cuisine and C is for chicken. All recipes will be included in cookbooks, and you may be asked to appear as a guest chef on WVIZ Cooks. Printer type each recipe on a full sheet of paper. Include your first and last name, address, and daytime phone number. Title your recipe and list all the ingredients. Mail it to the address on the screen, or you can email your recipe. Deadline is November 25th.
WVIZ is going to make your Thanksgiving Day a special one. First at 1, catch the beat at the 1997 Drum Corps World Championship. Then at 8, Deborah Winger leads an all-star cast down the Yellow Brick Road in The Wizard of Oz in concert. Followed at 9:30 by the great music and precision of the military musical pageant from Wembley Stadium. 3 special programs that you and your whole family will enjoy. Presented exclusively by WVIZ.
Yanni, tribute, coming to PBS, from the Forbidden City in China and the Taj Mahal in India, Yanni, with a spectacular all-new show. See it on PBS, from the world's most prized treasures, the timeless music of Yanni.
Coming December 5th and December 10th at 8 on WVIZ. Making the difference for you. You're watching Channel 25, WVIZ, Cleveland.
Welcome to the broadcast. We are back in New York, but we brought back with us 3 conversations recorded at the end of the week in London. Former Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell is in London because he is involved in the search for peace in Northern Ireland.
The people have now come to experience the benefits of peace and political stability. They had lived for 25 years with violence, fear, anxiety, a terrible gloom that enveloped that society like an unyielding fog. That's been lifted now, and people see the benefits of peace.
Mo Mowlam is a member of the Blair cabinet, also involved in the search for peace in Northern Ireland.
We're not asking anybody to give up the principles for which they stand by. We're not asking them to give up their culture. We're not asking them to give up their loyalties on either side. What we're saying is stay where you are in terms of those beliefs. No one wants you to give up on what you believe in, but step over those and find common ground between you. Now that can only be done if people aren't fearful, distrusting.
And finally, Stephen Delane, a Shakespearean actor in London who is the star of the new film, Welcome to Sarajevo.
We sat there and we watched it.
And we heard horrors that we had not heard since the Holocaust.
Indeed, well, exactly that. You know, the one thing that we thought, I grew up hearing that we would never allow to happen again.
Exactly.
Ever, you know, ever.
And then comes
there they are.
And then comes ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, you know, and you sort of go a bit mad, I think. You know, one day, my experience of following the war was that one day it seemed very clear what was happening. It seemed really clear, and that you assumed there would be some sort of response because these things demanded. You know, there was no way you can have these things and not do anything. And then the next day, because nothing had happened, you start to question your version of reality. You start to go, well, maybe not that maybe it didn't happen, but maybe there's some other story that the powers that be have that we're not privy to.
Mitchell, Mowlam, and Delane when we continue.
Charlie Rose is made possible by a grant from USA Networks as part of our continuing commitment to innovative television. Through USA Network and the Sci-Fi Channel, we provide original entertainment to America and the world. Charlie Rose is also made possible by these funders.
And by Bloomberg, a provider of multimedia news and information services worldwide. From our studios in New York City, this is Charlie Rose.
We begin with our conversation with George Mitchell, recorded on Thursday morning last week in London. There are two great political issues of debate here in Great Britain. One, of course, is Europe. The other is Ireland. For many years, ceasefire was the only kind of peace known in Northern Ireland. As negotiators resume this fall, there is new hope for the future of the troubled region. In September, for the first time in history, Sinn Féin and Ulster Unionist leaders sat down to face-to-face negotiations. In October, Tony Blair became the first British Prime Minister to shake hands with the Sinn Féin leader in 76 years. Behind this breakthrough is former Senate Majority Leader and Chairman of the Independent Council for Peace, George Mitchell. Overseeing the process, he hopes to lead the parties to an agreement by the deadline set by Tony Blair, May 1st, 1998. I am pleased to have back at our table former Senator George Mitchell. Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie. It's good to see you.
I want to talk about the negotiations first, but why are you doing this?
I'm asked that a lot. Sometimes I wonder myself.
Let me just set the stage. I mean, you had an opportunity to go to the Supreme Court. You had an opportunity to, if things had gotten right, to be baseball commissioner. You could have done a lot of things.
Right.
Your wife is in New York with your new baby.
Right.
You were prepared to experience the great life of leaving the Senate on your own terms at the highest level, the most honored position in the Senate, and you're now here spending your nights in hotels and your long days negotiating with people who have been negotiating with each other for a long, long time. So why is George Mitchell here?
Two reasons. First, completely by accident. I didn't intend this. I didn't seek it. I didn't expect it. I've gotten involved little by little, more and more. Now I find myself in a position where maybe in a small way I can be of help in resolving a conflict of centuries in age and violence and death and destruction. And that's a meaningful thing, the chance to be of help. I told my friends in the States, many of whom asked me exactly the same question. I've been very lucky in my life. My mother was an immigrant, my father the orphan son of immigrants. They had no education. I was helped by a lot of people at many places along the way in my life, and I was able to become Majority Leader of the Senate. Now, by destiny or fate or some unusual set of circumstances, I'm in a position to be of help to others, and I can't turn down the challenge or the opportunity. It's very meaningful. I think we have a real chance to bring to an end an historic conflict and let the people there turn a new page.
Where are we?
Further than we've ever been before. Right now, for the first time in the history of Northern Ireland, the first time ever, there is in place at the same time a general ceasefire and genuine peace negotiations. In the past, there's been one or the other at times, but never both at the same time. Very difficult, long way to go because the parties are far apart. But as you pointed out in your opening statement, they're talking, they're genuinely exchanging views, and in an extremely difficult circumstance for these political leaders, they're trying very hard to bring about an agreement that can command the allegiance of both communities in Northern Ireland and can bring about the kind of peace and political stability and reconciliation that almost all of the people there are desperate for.
What change have you seen since you've been on the job?
A dramatic change. The people have now come to experience the benefits of peace and political stability. They had lived for 25 years with violence, fear, anxiety, a terrible gloom that enveloped that society like an unyielding fog. That's been lifted now, and people see the benefits of peace. Greater exchange, greater commerce, greater prosperity, greater freedom, and most of all, freedom from fear. A mother now who sees her child out the door to go to school doesn't have to worry that perhaps that child is going to walk by a car that will blow up and that child will be lost forever. A person walking down the street doesn't have to be concerned that if he is a Catholic and a Protestant were killed by some terrorists earlier in the day in another part of town, just by random because of his religion, he might be shot in retaliation. That kind of fear has been lifted, and it affected all of the community. They've had a terrible time. I think they want to continue. Now they have deep differences, deep mistrust, even hatred, but they want to compose their differences in a peaceful way.
Where do they have to go? What's the last mile that you have to take them? What is it, the breakthrough that you've got to get them to come to grips with? Because you're already there preaching the notion that violence is no way to settle this, and that everybody loses, and if you don't talk, nobody will gain. But just talk gets you there, but what is it they have to say to go the last mile?
Well, the first point to be made is that the decisions involving the future of the people of Northern Ireland must be made by the people of Northern Ireland themselves and their political leaders. Not by me, not by President Clinton, not by any American or any outsider.